Hey everybody, thanks for checking out this video. It's me, your friendly neighborhood Uncle Pete. And this is the latest installment in my Horror Movie Superlative series that I'm collaborating with my good friend Carlin. We're at 1993 this week. And as always, after you watch this video, please go to Carlin's channel, link in the description. And then watch his video with the same title. Go to the community tab on his page. He'll have a poll up. And we need you guys and gals to vote on who you thought had the better pick. Whether they most closely resembled your own, or you have had the bed justification. Doesn't matter. It's all a friendly competition. And don't forget, I am giving away a Funko Pop of Chucky. So all you have to do to be entered into that competition is be subscribed to my channel and leave a comment down below. I'll be picking a name at random on December 16th. So all my videos that go up until then, all you have to do is leave a comment to be entered and you will have a chance to win a Funko Pop of Chucky. It's just my way of saying thank you for watching and to spread some cheer for the holidays. And please remember, these are our picks, and your picks probably and will be different than ours. And we love to read what your picks are, both Carl and I. We love seeing what everybody else would pick for all these superlatives. So that's about it. Let's get down to business and let's pick out some horror movie superlatives for 1993. My selection for the most amazing horror movie to come out in 1993 is Leprechaun. 93 wasn't a great year for horror movies, but there are some good ones out there, just not as much as other years. But I find nothing wrong with Leprechaun. It's a fun movie. Warwick Davis is a wonderful actor, and he gives it his all in this movie. He's scary, charming, funny, just so entertaining. And he pretty much carries this movie, and it's a great horror film from the early 90s. It still holds up to this day. If you haven't seen it, it's about a little evil leprechaun who was trapped for many years in a crate. Now that he's free, he wants his gold back and no one's going to stand in his way. The effects in this movie are pretty good, and I'll say it again how much I really enjoyed Warwick Davis. And I know everyone who covers this movie say this is Jennifer Aniston's first movie, and she does a pretty good job as well. It's a fun early 90s horror movie. Warwick Davis is great as the Leprechaun. And yeah, it's just a fun franchise. Check it out. Leprechaun was my selection for the most amazing horror movie to come out in 1993. My selection for the best so bad it's good movie goes to Doll Man vs. Demonic Toys. Last week I picked Demonic Toys as my so bad it's good selection for 1992. But I also love Full Moon's movie Doll Man, starring the awesome Tim Thomerson as Brick Bardo, which is an awesome hero name, but not as cool as Jack Death, Tim Thomerson's other character name from Trancers. Dollman vs. Demonic Toys is exactly what the title says it is. The movie connects three films in the Full Moon franchise: Bad Channels, Demonic Toys, and Dollman. I like this movie like other Full Moon features. They're straight to VHS fun movies. The acting is pretty solid. The plot is full of nonsense, but I'll be damned if this is just not a fun movie. Tim Thomerson is what makes this movie so bad it's good. And I think actually a little bit better than Demonic Toys because of Tim Thomerson. This is the third Full Moon feature that I've had so far on the superlatives for the 90s, but that was their heyday in the 90s with Full Moon features. That was their decade to shine. And I'm pretty sure other Full Moon features will show up in later years on my horror movie superlatives with Carlin, and I wouldn't be surprised if he has some Full Moon features from his selections as well. But yeah, it's not a great movie. It's not the best movie. It's not the worst movie. But Doll Man vs. Demonic Toys is a great, so bad it's good film for 1993. My selection for the most WTF film goes to Fire in the Sky. I chose this movie for WTF since they say it's based on the real life experience of Travis Walton. Now, regardless how you feel about alien life forms, visiting Earth if they exist or not, I still found this movie enjoyable. I don't believe that aliens ever visited Earth or ever took someone on board one of their spaceships to experiment on. However, I did pick this movie for WTF because that one scene where Travis is abducted on the spaceship and the aliens are starting to experiment on him, doing all this stuff. When I was a kid, that part scared the crap out of me back in 1993. And I'll give credit to the writers of this movie because they made it feel like what could have happened if there was such thing as true alien abductions. And I think maybe this movie probably made people believe in alien abductions as well because it's based on a true story, but people are gullible and they're going to believe that stuff. So for the legacy this movie has, the way it probably made people believe in alien abductions, people still believe Travis Walton did it. I don't, but that's just my opinion. But I still think this is a great WTF movie for that alien abduction scene on a spacecraft because it is pretty terrifying. My selection for the best score goes to Return of the Living Dead Part 3. This is my second favorite movie in the entire franchise. I like it better than Part 2. I don't consider Parts 4 and 5, they're trash. This movie is very different from the original Return of the Living Dead. It does have Colonel Reynolds, who has barrels of trioxin. The government is using this toxic gas on corpses so they can use them on the battlefield. The Colonel's son, Kurt, and his girlfriend, Julie, get into a car accident on Kurt's motorcycle, and she passes away. Kurt has no option but to take Julie to the government facility, and he revives her with the gas from one of the barrels. He and Julie had snuck into the facility early that day, and they witnessed what this gas can do to a corpse. Well, Julie gets brought back to life, and when she does, she starts to crave human flesh to cure the pain and hunger. Kurt and Julie do not have an easy night. Eventually, they get trapped in a sewer with some gang members trying to get revenge on them since Julie bit one of them. Now, I picked this movie for best gore due to the ending of this movie. It's wonderful. The look of the zombies are a ton of fun. There's one guy that Julie ripped his head and spine out of his body and is still attached. And when he revives, here's his spine and a head. It just looks awesome. And Julie learned that if she mutilates herself, it takes the hunger and the pains away. Now, the slow reveal of Julie when she goes full-on suicide girl on super steroids is excellent. The end of this movie is just so great. With the zombies look fantastic, the gore. Yeah, and the way Julie looks is just so iconic in horror. Return of the Living Dead is a great movie, and it's also kind of a love story as well. But if you haven't seen it, check it out because there's tons of great gore in Return of the Living Dead, my pick for 1993. For my most unique selection, I went with Man's Best Friend. Another movie you don't hear too much many people talking about. It does have some great cast members. You got Ali Sheedy and Lance Hendrickson in this film. If you haven't seen it, it's about an animal research facility that has genetically altered a Tibetan Mastiff named Max. This dog has the abilities of other dogs, a chameleon, a python, a cheetah. Max escapes and he starts to wreak havoc on his community. Now, this is the first movie I've seen where they have like a super dog with incredible abilities. This wasn't the first movie to make a dog scary because, we had Cujo, but this movie took a cute and fluffy dog and pretty much gave it superpowers of all these other animals, all their best traits, and it was just really interesting. You see the dog camouflage, you see it climb a tree, you see it unhinge its jaw like a python to eat something, and it just stood out to me as unique when I compared it to other films coming out that year. They used multiple animals to genetically alter this dog, and they showed, like I said, they showed all the various abilities, and I really enjoyed that aspect of the film. They just didn't show one or two. You got to see what this dog can actually do, and that felt unique to me when you look at all the horror movies, especially when it's focused on an animal. Yeah, not the most unique horror movie ever, but for me, it was the most unique horror movie to come out in 1993. My selection for the most overrated film goes to The Good Son. I guess this movie was an attempt to get Macaulay Culkin out of the role of Kevin McAllister, even though Kevin was a sadistic kid. I'm sure you heard the theories. People believe he became Jigsaw, but whatever. This movie is a loose remake of the 1956 horror film, The Bad Seed, but I really didn't enjoy this movie at all. I think they went too far trying to make this kid evil. It wasn't scary, and it just made you want to punch this kid in the face. It was too over the top. I think it was a little more subtle. They could have, made it more convincing. I found nobody in this movie interesting. It was just really boring, over the top. And there are way better evil kid movies out there. And there's a reason nobody really talks about this movie anymore, because it's just not a good movie. It's boring, it's predictable, and the 1956 movie, The Bad Seed, is way better than this piece of crap. And having Macaulay Culkin play the role of, Henry the little kid, I just think it was miscast, just trying to get the fandom of Macaulay Culkin. Oh, Macaulay Culkin's in this, we can get to see this movie. Yeah, it was a miss, not a good movie, and I can't remember anything else about this movie, and I just think it's the most overrated horror movie of 1993. And wrapping things up with the most underrated horror film goes to Body Bags, a truly underrated horror movie from the early 90s. They played this on cable a bunch as a kid. This movie has a great cast. You got John Carpenter as the coroner in the wraparound story, Stacy Keach, Mark Hamill, Wes Craven, David Warner, Sam Raimi, David Naughton, George Buck Flower, Tobe Hooper. There's just so many great cameos and stars in this movie. You got 3 segments, each giving you something different. Gas Station is a slasher. Hair is like an alien invasion story. And Eye is kind of like a psychological horror. None of the segments are boring or ever fall flat. I love horror anthologies a bunch, and when they're done well, they're fantastic. Like Creep Show, Trick or Treat, Tales from the Crypt VHS, the Mortuary Collection. I put Body Bags up there with those horror anthologies because I just have so much fun with it. It gives you something different each story. It's got great cameos, great cast, fun stories. You know, you got segments directed by John Carpenter. It's a fun movie. I really enjoy it. None of them are ever dragged down or anything like that. So yeah, John Carpenter's Body Bag is one of my favorite horror anthologies, and it's my pick for the most underrated horror movie of 1993. Well, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Those are all my selections. Here's a quick summary. Thanks again for watching this video. Now, please go to Carl's channel, link in the description. Watch his video with the same name as this one. And then go to the community tab on his page. He have a poll up, and we need everybody to vote on who they thought had the better picks. Where those picks closely resembled your own, or whoever you thought had the better justifications. It's a friendly competition between my good buddy Carlin and I. And do me a favor, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a video, and check out my Nails in a Coffin series. You get a new episode every Friday, and I got a lot of fun stuff planned for the holidays. And don't forget to leave a comment down below with your selections, and when you do, you'll be entered in the giveaway to earn Funko Chucky Pop. Have fun, everybody. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Stay safe. Stay happy. I am your friendly neighborhood Uncle Pete, and remember, with great kills, there must also come great nails.